Welcome to Mando and Friends, presented by Verizon. My name is Mando Fresco, and today I am joined by the Perico Princess. Today I am joined by your favorite cover girl. Today I'm joined by BIA. How are you, BIA?
My friend, you know I'm here. It's your girl BIA, checking in live. I'm just happy to be here, man. Like, I'm happy we get to connect at this point because there's just so much more to talk about.
Yeah. And by the way, I mean you see the vibes, right?
I
see the color.
I love how you coordinated with my hair. I love that. That's like one of my favorite things.
So let's start there. I see a lot of different hues of orange in your work and in your brand, the BIA branding. Tell me about that.
At first, it was just like an experimental thing. Like I feel like I just wanted to try with different hair colors. So first I tried blonde, then I tried orange. Weird color, go from blonde to orange. But then for some reason, it just spoke to me. I was like, this color, you know when you change your hair after like a breakup?
Yeah.
And you're like, this color like just makes me feel empowered. This makes me feel like I can go do whatever I want to do. So that was what it was for me. It was so warm, like something about the color just made me feel like in a good mood. And I was like, I want to be in this color every day. I want to embody this color.
What do you think came first? The color or the fruit?
The fruit.
The fruit?
No. The color.
I've always asked myself that question.
The color.
The color. That's your final answer.
No, the fruit. The fruit.
You know, it's so dope to see your growth within just the last few years. We were talking just before the mics turned on. We were talking about how we met just like next door about 5 years ago now. You were in the recording. I believe what I remember of that conversation was you had just signed to I Am Other. You were working with Pharrell. And since then, so much has happened, and it's been amazing to see you grow as a person, as an artist.
Thank you.
One of my favorite songs that you put out was Safari, and I like it because you give me a little shout out. I always pretend like you gave me a shout out, you know what I'm saying? Even though you maybe you didn't, but
I know you like it with the freco.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me from that moment, back when you were recording 5 years ago in Los Angeles, what's your favorite of those moments that you remember, or vibe, or what memory do you have of those times?
Wow, I feel like there's so many different moments in each moment that I couldn't just I could never pick one or just anything. Like they just all meant so much to me and so much to my career, and they helped me grow so much. But especially with that one, I really had to push my pen, and I think a lot of artists that write their own music, they'll relate to this. When you have to push your pen, it's like, I didn't know how to write that song in that moment. I just had to dig and figure it out because it was an opportunity there. And it changed my life, So it's a blessing, I always look back at that moment and I thank the people that put me in that moment, and God for coming through and working through me and allowing me to do that.
What was your favorite thing while recording? Like what's your is it the writing? Is it the recording? Is it collab? Because when you're in a room with a bunch of people, or one person even, there's a lot of collaborating moments. Mm-hmm. What would you say is your favorite thing about being in the studio?
My favorite thing about being in the studio, when you have those songs that right away, they come to you fast, and you're writing a song and you're like, oh no, this is it. You don't stop because you're in a groove. Those are the moments that speak to me the most, because I know I'm onto something and I know it feels right, not only to me, but everybody else in the room. So I know it's it's special.
When everyone's vibing.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like when you recorded Safari?
Safari was crazy because, to be honest, I was on my way to rehearsal because I was opening up for Pusha T on tour, and it was my first tour, and I was so scared to go on tour, especially with Pusha T because he has real rap fans.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm about to miss my rehearsal. Okay, cool. Fam's like, don't worry, we'll go late. So I was like, okay, cool. We show up and Pharrell's like, yo, I want you to try to put a verse on this. And I was like, okay. When I started writing to it, I realized like, oh, this is going to take me a little bit longer than I thought. And I went to Fam and I'm like, wait, what about rehearsal?
Yeah.
And, this is my first tour. And he was like, don't worry about rehearsal. Like, this is more important than rehearsal,
Wow.
And it was so much more important than rehearsal. It was to do a song with Pharrell and J Balvin. Like, hello. Like, I just didn't know in that moment, like, to rehearsal to me, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna look terrible on tour. Like, I was like, all right, let me go write this first. And I went under a tree in the studio. I went by myself. I went under a tree and I started to write the verse. I called my best friend, Jen, one of my best friends from back home. And I'm like, does this sound good? Does this make sense? And she's like, yeah, like, that sounds cool. Like, and I was like, well, what can I say after this? I was like, does tsunami sound good? Like, wavy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I did like, a little bit of English and Spanish, and she's like, yeah, that's fire. Like, she helped me and we did it. Like, I went right back in there. I was singing it right away. In the first cut, it was the song. And they went crazy. And they were like, whoa, we didn't know you were going to do it in Spanish.
Yeah.
We thought you were going to come up here rapping. And we thought we were going to, like, not really.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So were you told to rap in Spanish or in English? Like, what? They thought you were going to come with like an English verse? I
always had a little bit of like Spanish in my verse. Like when I was working with Pharrell, I would always throw in like little Spanish words every now and then just to connect. Like, like I felt like I was a bilingual, like I grew up in a bilingual household. Like when my mom spoke English, but then when I would go to my dad's house, it would be a lot of Spanish.
Yeah.
And it would be so hard for me to kind of like connect to both worlds at the same time. And I felt like when it came to the music, like if I can make people that speak Spanish want to learn a little bit of English and make people that speak English want to learn a little bit of Spanish, then I won. I made everybody happy in the same song. So I think that's what I try to do there, knowing that the majority of the people that were going to listen to the song were going to speak Spanish. And if I could throw a little bit of English in there to make the people that speak English vibe with them, it makes sense,
Let's talk about your fam. I know you grew up, on your mom's side, it was like more hip hop, Tupac, right?
Mm-hmm.
With your pops, it was more salsa.
Mm-hmm.
How did that sort of inspire, motivate you, kind of, impact your music career?
I think like while I was listening to music like that, I didn't know it was impacting me at all. I think I just was a sponge and I just soaked up so much. And, there would be words that I would know in Spanish that I didn't know in English when I was a kid, like a pincho. Like I didn't know what a pincho was in English until someone like, that's a bobby pin, stupid. Like, so it was like, I don't know. I just felt like, but as I got older, I became more detached from my, my father and that side of my family. And I just kind of like, just was more, I was raised by my stepfather, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like I always had different, in me, I felt like I was just so many different things, like a melting pot of so many different cultures.
A question that I ask often is what, and it's always a different answer because people grow up with, just differently, in the Latin culture, for example, for me, I grew up with traditional Mexican parents, right? Mm-hmm. When I told them that I wanted to be in entertainment, they were like, really? Like, really, mijo? Like, are you sure about that? For others that I've asked, some parents were, really supportive. Like they bought them their first microphone or their first camera. It's mixed stories that I get. How was it with your fam when you told them that you wanted to be a rapper, an entertainer?
I didn't really tell anyone. I just let everybody find out. Like, I just let everyone find out because the first song I put out, it was called High, and it was me like riding around with my friends in a limo smoking weed. And it wasn't really like a song that you would like take to your family and be like, yo, look what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of like let everybody find out. But as it started to develop, like they were finding out good things too. It wasn't like, oh, she's not really just ruining her life trying to chase something that's not attainable. Like I showed them that it was attainable and that you don't have to do traditional things and support your kids and whatever it is they do, support your grandkids. Because I know that none of them thought that it was possible, you know? And I'm glad to break that stereotype so that other kids, especially that come from traditional cultural households, can use me as an example and be like, well, she did it, so why can't I do it, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you ever like go back home and connect with friends, fam, like the community that you grew up with?
Yeah, all the time. But I feel like the community has changed so much since from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even when I go back to my father's old neighborhood, like of in Spanish Harlem, it's so different. It's so gentrified. It's a different neighborhood. It's not, you can't walk down 122nd during the Puerto Rican festival and maybe have people selling plates of food anymore, because that's not what people are going to do in the middle of the world and the times that we in. So I think like where I grew up, like the cultural aspect of life is not gonna, like, millennials that are growing up now, they're not gonna have that, you
Yeah.
know? And that impacted me a lot. Like, that shaped me a lot.
What would you say is that one thing that fuels you on a daily basis today? Like you wake up and you put in the work day in and day out because of
God, family, and drive. Like, it's not just one thing, but those three things, and money. Like, you know, if we being real, like, money. I have to make money so that I can build a legacy and pass on generational wealth to my family, because I didn't have that. You know,
Yeah.
like my father didn't have generational wealth to pass on to me or my mom. So that changes everything. When you realize what game we're playing, you start to play for different reasons,
Yeah.
you know?
What would you say is that one thing that people don't really know, or maybe like a misconception about being in entertainment or being a female rapper? What's that one thing that people don't know, but you have to like fight through, or you have to like push even harder because?
There's a lot of things like that. Being a female, especially female artist or a female rapper in today's times, like, you gotta really know who you are.
Yeah.
That would be like the biggest thing for me. Like, you have to know who you are, because if you don't know who you are, it's so easy for people to sway you and to redirect your focus, you know, and change your whole message right under your nose before they even know that they did that. And then here you are and you're like, what do I even stand for? This is not even who I am,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I feel like there's a misconception when it comes to entertainers, when it comes to like a female artist. It's sometimes there's like even stereotypes of, oh, she because she's a female rapper, you guys aren't held to a certain level, and I think that's a, first of all, horrible way of thinking. I think there's a lot of female artists that are amazing, like yourself, Bia, and are pushing the envelope. To be honest with you, artistically, what would you say is as a female drives you, and you want to break that barrier, you want to break that wall? What would you say that is?
I want to make people believers, man. Like, overall, like, if you doubt me, I want to make you a believer. And if that's by force, then that's what it has to be. But, you know, like, I like to look at just what I'm trying to do is I'm playing a longevity game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm building a legacy. I'm trying to do something iconic. And I can't take shortcuts with that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna gain a lot of fans along the way, and I'm gonna lose a lot of people along the way because of that, you know?
When we say Verizon te da más, we mean it.
La red más premiada ahora incluye Disney Plus, Hulu e ESPN Plus.
Todos pueden tener lo que quieren sin pagar de más.
Y todo desde $35 por línea. The network more people rely on te da más. Cámbiate a Verizon.
Yeah, when we sat down, honestly, I was looking at the video today. We sat down a year ago, and we were talking about Best on Earth. We're talking about how that track went viral with the challenge. A year later now, what did that song mean to you?
That song, excuse me, for me, that song was like I needed that for me. You know, if that makes any sense to anybody, like I needed that moment for me. It was not for anybody else at that time. I just needed to prove to myself that like I could do that, you know, and that my work wasn't in vain, you know. I also think that like that accolade helped other people give me a chance, you know? Because there were a lot of people that maybe didn't want to give me a chance or for whatever reason, or it was like, I don't really like her music, or you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not really vibing with it. So that made, Rihanna made a lot of people be like, oh, let me double back on that, you know? Let me give her a second chance because if Rihanna likes it, then maybe I should like it too.
Yeah.
And I love her for that.
Yeah,
like,
so for those that don't know, Best on Earth went viral. Rihanna posted it. It went everywhere. The song is an amazing song with Russ. Shouts to Russ. And that song went everywhere. That video, the challenge went everywhere. When we talked, you had not connected, I guess, in person with Rihanna. Have you connected since?
Yeah, I actually saw her on the plane like a week after that.
Whoa.
Like I bumped into her like on a random plane on our way to, like in the first class randomly on our way to LA. And I just was like, I just said thank you, man. Like, you know, I had already said thank you a lot, but just appreciated her for what she did in that moment because doing that helps so many, like you really help somebody's career. You really help, like, you know what I'm saying? It just shines a different light.
Yeah. One thing that I know is important for you is like the aesthetic of fashion, music, and just carrying and portraying women in a high level.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
I'm so glad you said that. That means so much to me because that's really what I do it for. Like I don't do it for any other really reason on a celebrity level. Like, you know, I just really want to hold, when people see me, they have to see all of us, you know, Latin women, Black women, brown women, Black women. They have to see it all. They have to see me and I have to be an example for that. So I feel like I take that very seriously and I don't abuse that power. So when people look at me, they know like I don't just represent me, I represent all of us. Yeah.
You first came on the scene as BIA, Bianca.
Bianca, no, but that's my real name, Bianca. But you know,
was it a nickname? Was it something that like your fam would call you, or is that you came up with it?
Bia has been my nickname since I was like 12 years old.
Dope.
Yeah. Like since studded belts were out, where you could like get them at the mall and $25 a letter, that's been my name since then.
Mm-hmm. Be it so it's like me, like Mando. So my dad's name is Armando. Mm-hmm. I was never Armando. If they were saying, "Hey Armando," I would look around like, "Where's my dad?" So it was always Mando. So since I can remember, so it was it was pretty organic, just the way it all came together. Now Fresco, that was a whole different story. My last name is Ponce. But it just wasn't gonna sound right, like Mando Ponce, you know. so how to change that up? Did you have like another prior to Bia? Was there like another artist name that you were cooking up, or was it always just?
Yeah, it was always Bia. Like people tried to get me to change it, I would never change it. I was like, no, like it's Bia. That's my name. Period.
At this point of your career, Bia. You've done a lot of amazing things, collaborated with a bunch of people, have been on stage with a lot of great artists. What would you say is that moment that is most memorable, or like the biggest moment of your career? That first one that comes to mind?
Latin Grammys.
Latin Grammys.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
That was just so surreal. Like I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know I didn't know what that would feel like. It was just one of the best moments of my life. I'm so grateful for it. You know, I thank Pharrell and J Balvin to the end of time and Fem for the end of time for that moment, you know, because I don't even think I realized that moment when I was in it. You're so, as an artist, like I feel like you're always chasing, like, what's that next thing? Like, okay, am I going to get, like, is this going to be it? Is this going to be it? But it's never it. You always just got to keep creating moments and keep working. And that was just the first one for me of, like, the first major one for me, you know? So it was big. I'm so thankful for it. It's like every time I look back at it, it's like, I can't believe that.
You know, J Balvin's one of my favorite artists. Balvin's incredible, you know, talent. Pharrell too. I mean, to have those two on that track is crazy. You know, I know that you have also been influenced by La Caballota, Evie Queen. Mm-hmm. Do you see, or are you now working with artists in the Latin scene as well?
I still am, but I've been kind of just trying to focus on like whatever collabs come to me naturally.
Yeah.
Like I'm really just a super organic person and I like connecting with people in real life. Like, you know, there's a couple girls that I'm real cool with in like the Latin world. So I would look for some collabs like soon, but I just don't know which ones yet. And I don't want to say them yet because it's like, it's still in the works.
What does an artist like Evie Queen mean to you?
Oh, she's legend, man. Like Evie Queen to me, like I would say she takes me to almost like what a Nicki Minaj or a Lil' Kim has done to the US industry, like for women, like in rap. She is that. Like in rap, there's nobody harder to me than Evie Queen. Like Evie Queen is the GOAT to me in female rap for reggaeton.
And I know you've also said that you're a fan. Last time we talked about Selena. Oh yeah. You know, her there's a new doc is coming out. Obviously, like there's always things coming out. You know,
I don't know how I feel about it.
About
how do you feel about it? The new doc, the Netflix stuff.
Well, there's two sides, right? Like there's the side that I'm excited about it. Well, you know, a guest and a friend of mine, Paul Rodriguez. He's in it. He's playing a role in it. I'm excited. That's like one of his, you know, new big roles that he's a part of. So I like that aspect, right? There's like new talent or getting opportunities.
Creating new opportunities.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, it's always like a touchy subject to do something with you know, such a legend like Selena. People are like, oh, just leave it as it is. But you know, I mean, Jennifer Lopez. Do you think she in your opinion, was amazing in that? Were you a fan of that movie?
I think Jennifer Lopez killed it. Like, but then again, I was a child, and that's the only thing that I know other than the, like, I probably grew up to Jennifer Lopez being her version of Selena more than I probably got to experience Selena, you know? Yeah. Because that was just my era of like what I grew up with. I grew up with her music, but not like, I didn't get to go to her concerts. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a different thing. So I wouldn't want to see them do it and not execute it as flawlessly. So I'm just hoping for the best. Like I'm being positive about it. I'm not going to be negative about it.
Yeah. I'm yet to see anything.
Yeah.
I've only seen photos. But I am excited about that. Tell me about the artist, Selena, you know, what she symbolized for yourself and as an artist.
Well, at first it was like, you know, heavy on the music and heavy on the aesthetic. Like I'm a big aesthetic girl. I love class, and that's why I love Ree so much, because like I put Selena up there like with like just that overall aesthetic. She just carried herself with so much class and she was so sweet. So I always love that, you know, women like her, Aaliyah, Rihanna, like there hasn't been too many to do that, that flawlessly to me. So that's what I love about her, you know. But I feel like her story even resonated with me, like even her struggle with Spanish and having to like, you know, get better with it. That was me. Like I struggled on the red carpet with Spanish. I still do. So it's one of those things that like, you know, it's in you, you know, it's in me. Yeah. So that's like, you have to go and find it and you have to pull it out and get it right.
You know, one of the things that I found or find very frustrating is when people say, you know, he's not Latino enough or she's not Latina enough or they're too Latino. I don't know what that means, but Do you get that?
Yeah, I feel like I don't get it to my face, but I feel like I get it, maybe in comments or everywhere, people that just don't really know me. But, I feel like there's a lot of people that feel like that,
Yeah.
and I feel like I speak for them, especially a lot of millennials. Like I've met so many people, and I'll be outside and I'll be like, "What are you?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm Puerto Rican." And I'll be like, "Do you speak Spanish?" And they'll be like, "No." And I'll be like, "Oh, well, you look like you should speak Spanish." Like, like I would expect you to speak Spanish. So why don't you speak Spanish? And they're like, "Well, my mom never taught me." And it's like, what can you say to that?
Right.
Are they not still like Latino because they don't speak Spanish?
Doesn't make sense.
But it's like, but you gotta go and learn, and that's one thing that I've learned. You gotta educate yourself. And I used to be, people used to tell me like, go take classes, like go get tutored, go get better. And I used to have to tell my friends, like even one of my best friends, Momo, I would walk around the house with Momo, spend the whole day with Momo, and be like, only speak to me in Spanish, like solo español. Yo no hablo inglés at all today, okay?
Yeah.
Like any words that I
Yeah.
didn't know in Spanish, I would say them in English, and then she would be like, no, this. And she would just
Yeah.
help me. You need to do that. You need that. You need to try at least.
Yeah, I'm totally against, people judging someone's, culture or heritage based on whether you know a language or not. I grew up, I'm first generation. I grew up in a Mexican household, very traditional. We only spoke Spanish in the house. And to be honest with you, Bia, from time to time, I forget Spanish words all the time. And I grew up speaking it. You know what I'm saying? So like whether I'm speaking Spanish or not, I'm just as proud, and like you said, it's in you.
Yeah, it's like, or even when some people tell me like, like I grew up as Afro-Latina. Like, I didn't grow up as just Latina or just like Italian or just anything, you know? So I grew up like, my view on what I was always like very broad, and especially like when I got into more entertainment, people would be like more like, well, we need to classify you a little bit more. Like, what do you mean you say this? Or what do you mean you're this? Like, what does that really mean? Like, people just don't always get it, especially when you're mixed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like a struggle that I feel like a lot of like mixed or biracial people go through. But you just got to know who you are and just be that. Like,
we talked about Selena, the series, and my buddy P-Rod in that, who's acting in that. Is there something that you haven't shared with a lot of people that you want to do? Whether it's because I know the fashion thing. I'm sure that you want to like, get into that scene a little more. But is there something that we don't know, that you don't really talk about? Like, you want to be an actress, you want to like, be a Disney princess one day, animated series. Is something like just over the top or something that may seem like news to people because you don't really share it too much?
Like my friends that know me know I have real goals. Like I have so many different goals, like entrepreneurial goals.
Yeah.
And also like heavy aspirations to be an executive, like a female executive. Like I started my own label this year.
Congrats.
And I feel like, thank you. I feel like I haven't signed anyone yet because I feel like I want to be at a certain place before I, help or devote resources to try to bring somebody else to make their dreams come true. I want to know that I can do that first. I wouldn't want to waste somebody's time. So those are just aspirations that I really feel like I have, and I'm going to work so hard to get to, because I don't see a lot of female artists open doors in that way.
Yeah.
And really like cultivate a strong label for other artists or females to come.
Why do you think that is, that it doesn't happen as often, where like, other female artists kind of, say, hey, you're coming up with me?
I think you see a lot more of that now, but I think it's programming, I think that women were programmed, especially in entertainment in this industry, to kind of just be like, well, if I help her, then that's going to take an opportunity away from me. And that's not really the case.
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to see that more as you see more more girls becoming friends. And it's a genuine thing now. Like, it's not, you don't see people just clicking up because like, oh, we did a song together and we really hate each other. You see girls kind of really like, oh no, I hang out with her. Like, I'm going to stick up for her on the internet, you know, and do things like that.
Yo, because that's the thing too, right? Like now with social media, it's not just like, yo, I got your back in person. If something goes down, like I got you. Now it's like, you know, social's part of that too. Like backing somebody up on social media is almost just as important, if not more. As one that wants to inspire, that wants to, you said you want to be, you know, a leader, a boss, which you are already, by the way. What is that one thing, even as a mentor, what is it that one thing that you wish you would have had starting up that you hope to do for others?
Belief. Like, as cliche as it sounds, I wish I just had more belief in myself, to trust myself from the beginning and to make a lot of those executive decisions on my own and not be so scared or like guarded or, you know, that's the only way you learn is if you really make those decisions. But I've noticed that a lot of the decisions, the best ones that I've made that I really, 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 really trusted myself were some of the best decisions of my life. So sometimes you got to listen to other people, but most times you got to listen to yourself.
When we say Verizon te da más, we mean it.
La red más premiada ahora incluye Disney Plus, Hulu e ESPN Plus.
Todos pueden tener lo que quieren sin pagar de más.
Y todo desde $35 por línea. The network more people rely on te da más. Cámbiate a Verizon.
What's the hardest thing about this industry?
The unknown.
The unknown.
The unknown. Because, like, look at how the whole pandemic changed the whole music industry. You just don't know. This is not that type of, if you want safe, you don't get into music. You know, that's what I would say. This is just, it's a predatory industry. It's very unknown. And it can be wonderful, positive, and lucrative for so many people. But it can also be like that if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about the pandemic. Everything shut down, the music industry, touring. You know, it was a crazy, I mean, it's still, you know, a crazy point. And not just the entertainment business, but just in any industry, really. But what is it that you've gained personally throughout this pandemic?
I feel like I grew up a lot during this pandemic, and compassion. Like, I've grown a lot of compassion for other people. Not that I didn't have that before, but it's a different compassion now. Just more spiritual, just overall, like, just more clear.
Were you isolated? Because I was isolated, and man, BIA, I thought I was losing my damn mind. Like, I wasn't coming up here to our studio. I wasn't seeing people as much, especially in the beginning. And I was like, I was losing my damn mind. I was just like, all right, I got to get this together. You know, one thing that I will share with you is during this pandemic, I started therapy, like mental health therapy. And something that I've always wanted to do. And I've always, you know, been adamant of how important it is to be in a good place mentally as it is physically. Is there one thing that you feel, or what would you say is the biggest change in your life? Not talking money, not talking work, or you know, just like personal. What's the biggest change within this pandemic time for you?
Yeah, that mental clarity that I feel like a lot of people didn't find that in the pandemic. Like, a lot of people suffered like a depression, but I feel like my depression hit maybe before the pandemic. Like,
tell me about
my
that.
depression was kind of like, I needed the pandemic to just slow down and really like become one with my thoughts and isolate myself and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really focus on what it is that I'm trying to accomplish and, you know, like clear, like clean out my mental system almost.
Is there something, let's talk about like technology now during this pandemic, is there an app that you use more? Is there, were you recording on something? So like, what is it, a piece of tech that you've used during, this year of 2020?
I wish I didn't use my phone as much as I did, like I had to like find myself, okay, I'm gonna put my phone down, because you get addicted to your phone, I had to really put my phone down. Like now I could put my phone down. I put my phone down for an hour, 2 hours, you might lose me. You have to FaceTime to get to me, But yeah, like I feel like sometimes you need that.
We talked about our culture. What's your favorite dish growing up or now that your fam cooks? Because I know you're half Italian, half Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I eat everything, man. Like my favorite dish, like for a while, it was really pollo guisado. Like I loved, like, I can eat like chicken over white rice with like beans every day. I love anything over white rice. Ground beef over white rice. And then my mom's side of the family, they make pasta every day. Like they make spaghetti every day with like 10 other things, salad, and like they make like 10 courses. So I'm used to eating. I can eat.
How do you get down in the kitchen too?
Yeah, like I could cook. Yo, can I cook?
Yeah. What's your go-to dish?
Don't fuck this up. Tell them how good it is. No. Because last time he fucked this up. Last time I said, it was right when I met my boyfriend, and I was like, tell him how good I can cook. He was like, it's all right. And I was like,
wow,
bro.
Wow. Oliver,
I was like, it's all right. Like, what do you mean? You come up to my house all the time and you eat. Why would you say that? He made me look so dumb.
Come on, Oliver, you gotta step it up, man. You gotta make it look good.
So that's why just now I put the heat on him. Like, don't do that again. Can you pass me that one?
You should do pasta, like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and stuff.
Nice.
I like lamb chops. I'm real fancy now.
Lamb chops. Being in LA now, do you have a favorite go-to spot or favorite go-to dish now being in Los Angeles?
No, I need some recommendations, because I had this girl that used to cook food. Like she used to cook Dominican food and deliver it to your house. She stopped doing it. She only did it in the pandemic. Shout out to Ace Notorious. If you see her, tell her to get it jumping again. I really liked that. But other than that, I have My 2 Cents. Have you ever been to them?
No.
Oh, incredible.
Fire?
Yes, fire. It's incredible food. I just don't know how to put it. Like, you just have to go there and see. My 2 Cents, it's on West Pico Boulevard.
West Pico Boulevard. Shit, quick commercial real quick.
My 2 Cents.
Do you have you had Mexican ceviche?
No. Where? Oh yeah, but not from here.
Not in LA?
No.
Have you had Peruvian ceviche? Oh, you were living in Miami for a while, right?
I think the only ceviche I've had here was like from Javier's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got to make that happen. We got to get you some Mexican
I want some
ceviche.
Good ceviche. Like I went on a taco spree when I moved to LA, because LA has such good tacos.
Yeah.
Like real authentic tacos. Like you can pull up and they're making tacos like right there, roasting the meat.
The
like,
El Pastor.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Do you have a go-to?
I ate way too many tacos. I haven't been eating tacos for a while because I got tacoed out for 6 months, tacos only 6 times a day.
Do you have a go-to spot for tacos?
I had like 10. Yeah.
10 tacos?
How many taco spots we go to, bro? Like Tacos to Madre, Angel's Tacos, the Calle Tacos, tacos all over. Tacos, we drive by somewhere and be like, oh, they look like they got good tacos. Go get their tacos. Like, yeah, I'm all tacoed out for a little while.
You're living in LA now, in Hollywood. You had this I saw that you had this altercation with as you were working out that other day. This
is my favorite story. You know this.
So what went down?
Okay, so like anyone who lives in LA, if you live downtown or in Hollywood, you become one with the homeless community.
Yeah.
So I was outside working out. I was trying to get ready for Rolling Loud. I'm like, let me just go on a little jog. And I go outside, I'm stretching. I'm getting ready. I'm doing lunges to go on my little jog. And this homeless man comes up next to me. And he stops and he starts airboxing, the air. And I'm like, I just stopped for a second. I'm like, oh, let me just keep going. Because if you look scared, they're going to mess with you. But if not, they're going to let you rock. So I'm just like, let me just do my own thing and not even worry about him. So I go back to working out. And he starts airboxing the shit out the air right next to me again. And then he stops and he looks at me. So I'm like, oh shit, he's working out with me. 20 minutes, we sat there. We worked out together, me and the homeless man. Then I went on my jog. I seen him probably a couple hours later, but he was just walking on another street running around the neighborhood. But he really worked out with me. It was crazy.
You guys had a good cardio sesh together.
Yeah, he was like,
Did you wind down? You guys stretch together too? Or?
No, I didn't wind down with him. I was like, what is going on? Get me out of Hollywood.
Let's talk about Rich Tears. Talk to me about that.
So that was what I was going to name my album. And I still have it. I have the whole project, but I had another project kind of in between that I worked on in the pandemic and a little bit before that, that I'm probably going to release before that.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're working on a project or 2 projects?
Oh, I work on 3. I have 3. Ask you get to ask. I have 3 projects done right now. I have an R&B project done. It's called R&B, and
that's so dope.
Mm-hmm.
R&B.
I have an R&B project done, and then I have the project that I'm getting ready to release now called For Certain, and that's just because I'm certain about where I'm at, certain about how I feel. I'm moving in my purpose. I just feel certain about everything.
Yeah. When should we expect that? Do you know?
I'm hoping. I wanted to get it off the end of December before January.
Dope. What's next for BIA?
Wherever God takes me, man. Literally wherever God takes me. I'm just gonna keep trying to be the best BIA I could be, be myself and bring light to the world and help the world and put good music into the world and serve looks into the world, I'm really just cook good food when my friends come to my house.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a new hidden talent.
Okay, talk to me about that. Oliver's over there laughing. What's her new hidden talent, man?
In the quick pandemic, I became a nail tech also.
Did you?
So I did my own nails.
Dope.
I have to show you through the glass.
Can you show this camera right here?
Can you see them? Okay, so they had gems hanging from them. They don't have gems hanging from them anymore. I took them off. They kept getting caught in my hair. But I can do some real, next level nail shit. I have a nail Instagram now called Nails for Certain. Nails for Certain, okay? Nails for Certain. And you can go and you can see my designs. You can see all the nails I do for me. And because I haven't done anyone else's, I only really do it for me. But I might do some people's, my friends. Make it a little thing, how cut a hole through the glass, I would put your hand through and do your nail. And on my YouTube, something like that.
Yo, that's sick.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I see him? Oh, that's so dope.
That's cool, right? They're extra
that's
long.
So dope. And how long does it take to do a full set?
Oh, wow. At first, it started taking me a really long time, but now I'm quick. Now I can do it an hour and a half. Okay, maybe 2. But at first, my first set took me 6 hours. I started at 9 p.m. when Kiki left after she did my hair. And then I didn't finish till 8 a.m. the next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. It took me to do my first set.
How many pictures do you have right now on your nail Instagram?
Maybe 10, maybe 8. Something like that.
That's sick. That's sick.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow her. What is that again?
It's called Nails for Certain.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. You might even do a collab with other artists,
Yeah, I might can do a nail polish collab or something. I don't know.
Let's go. Let's make that happen.
Yeah. Nail polish lines, call me. Call your girl.
When we say Verizon te da más, we mean it.
La red más premiada ahora incluye Disney Plus, Hulu e ESPN Plus.
Todos pueden tener lo que quieren sin pagar de más.
Y todo desde $35 por línea. The network more people rely on te da más. Cámbiate a Verizon.
This part of our M&F Mando and Friends podcast, it's like a quick rapid fire questionnaire here that we're going to go into. It's actually my favorite part of the podcast. I'm going to ask you questions, and as fast as you possibly can, you just kind of throw them right back at me with, the first thing that pops up. There's no time limit. I mean, if you want to tell me what it is and then tell me why you're choosing this or why you're choosing this and not that, you can also explain some of this.
So it's either
rapid
or.
fire. Some of them are either or. Some of them, some of them are fill in the blank,
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm born ready.
All right. Rapid fire with BIA. Salsa or bachata?
Bachata.
Favorite Spanish word?
Can it be a swear?
Sure. We'll bleep it out.
Coñazo.
Coñazo. That sounds like something that should be in a novela. Like,
Yeah.
coñazo.
Because I had a friend whose mom used to always say, coñazo. Coñazo. She always say it. It's my favorite word. Sometimes I say it all the time.
Coñazo. I like that. All right. Tostones, which are fried plantains. Tostones or French fries?
Tostones.
I'm happiest when I'm blank.
I'm happiest when I'm sleeping.
What new technology will transform the future?
Cash registers that don't need people.
Celtics or the Lakers?
Celtics.
Ooh, I don't know if you and I can be friends anymore, Bia.
Sorry.
What's one nickname that you're called that nobody really knows about? Oliver, you have a nickname for her?
Is there a nickname that anyone calls me? Or literally kid. Like he calls me kid. He calls me, hey, what's up, kid? Like he calls me kid all the time. That's the only nickname that other than Bia that he has.
I'll take that. Judges, something you're horrible at.
Something I'm horrible at?
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm a Leo, baby. I'm good at almost pretty much everything. Like I have a plethora of hidden talents.
I like that. Great answer, by the way. Best rapper of all time.
Bia.
Best singer of all time.
Oh, I'm gonna have to give it to Rihanna.
This is a very, very important question here. This final rapid fire question is, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, I love pineapple on my pizza.
There it is. Bia, dap through the plexiglass here. I got so much love for you. I got so much respect for you. Again, just seeing you shine and grow and glow
Oh man,
has been amazing in the last few years here. And you've done a lot, man. Like, from, I don't know, the last 5 years to now, you've done what people do in like 10, 15 years. And it's great. And I'm excited to see, what you have in store for us.
I appreciate you so much, man. And I just thank you for being such a constant supporter of me and everything I'm doing. Like, it never goes unnoticed. And I'm just happy to be here, bro. Like, thank you.
Yeah. Have you ever done a man's nails before?
Actually, I've manicured, but never. You want to paint them? Like, would you paint them?
Yeah, sure.
Because, I mean, Nails for Certain is a design page. So you have to get designs.
Okay.
It's just the rule.
All right. Let's talk. BIA, Mando Fresco, thank you so much for watching and listening to Mando and Friends presented by Verizon.